No BS Nutrition is still physical distancing, and we're not mad about it.
This is a 1-hour food fight against diet culture and its fake science messages.
Instead, we're passionate about celebrating real wellness.
I'm registered dietitian Hannah McGee.
And I'm neuroscience PhD student Tariq Youssef, and this is No BS Nutrition.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the No BS Nutrition podcast. Happy Easter, I guess.
Easter, Passover, Lent, whatever you were observing.
Yep.
I hope everyone's been safe.
I hope so. Yeah, we hope you guys are safe and well. And we're recording today. It's Sunday. It's a beautiful day out where I am. Is it beautiful where you are?
It's absolutely stunning. I'm just enjoying it through the window.
Nice. Yeah. I actually I did go out for a run this morning, and it was pretty quiet. I find it on the weekends in the afternoon, a lot of people are out, and that's when it's like, is this social distancing? It's a little spooky. So going in the morning seems to be a little bit better for avoiding crowds.
Yeah, totally.
Not that there's crowds, not crowds, but just like people in general.
Sure, of course.
Yeah. So
I feel like every time I do this, I'm like, oh my god, like I'm talking to Han, like let's catch up, like, but then I'm like, oh, I have 17,000 things to tell Hannah, and then I forget all of them. But I'm just trying to think. Today I just what did I do today? Oh, I did a bunch of meal prepping, like I normally would. You know, we've both been saying like business as usual.
A delicious
some
lunch.
Like baked pasta casserole. Yeah, made some of that.
Delicious.
I love making bechamel at home, but it takes so much milk to make bechamel. It's like you make a roux, so it's like butter, flour, and then you just add milk and pray, and then 8 minutes later, after your arm's about to fall off from whisking, you get bechamel, and then you're done.
Nice.
Which is really nice. Yeah, just did some of that. Did some baking yesterday. The apartment, okay. My apartment's never been cleaner. I don't know about you. It's like we're home all the time, so you can't avoid the mess or the dirt.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. So honestly, I have no excuse. Like, how many times am I gonna walk over the dust bunny? You know, at one point I'm just gonna pick it up.
Right. Yeah. No, our place. I feel like we do a good job at like keeping it like right now clean, and exactly after dinner. Like I never usually sweep or vacuum the kitchen every night after dinner, but like because I have nothing else to do, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna vacuum the kitchen again tonight.
I also like can't escape. I can't like leave the mess. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Usually I'm like, oh, I have to go to bed because like I have my commute in the morning, and then I have to get to school. Like I'm so tired.
And you're out all day.
All these experiments. Then, Oh, like it's fine. I don't have to like clean tonight. Like whatever. I was out all day, but it's like no.
There's definitely no like. It's very tidy in here. There's no excuses for like leaving your shit all over the place. Like you might as well put it away.
We have a bunch of bags of like stuff that we want to donate, but people or charities are asking that people don't put donation bags in the bins around town because no one's picking them up right now. Yeah. So we just have like bags stuffed in closet of like stuff that we want to give away.
Oh, really?
Because we tried to do a little bit of spring cleaning.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually something I should do is spring cleaning. Haven't really.
But I can't imagine you have too much stuff if you just move.
We don't. Yeah, we definitely got rid of a lot of stuff when we moved. But yeah.
Your place looks amazing, by the way.
Oh, thank you. We did.
I love the light and the space. Like it's so beautiful.
It's very open.
It's super open. Yeah,
for everyone watching on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Take it in.
Yeah. Okay, so Tariq, I guess it's your turn to tell me what your BS of the week is.
I do have a BS of the week, thank you, and really happy to share it. This is actually something that I guess is this is a specific thing that kind of made headlines back in 2015.
Okay.
And it really intrigued me, and I kind of want to look into it further in the future.
Okay.
So it's gender. I'm actually going to send you a text. I'm going to send you a text of something, and we'll include the picture for people who are watching or listening to the podcast. So the BS of the week this week is gendered diet culture clothes for babies. So all I have in my notes is just like WTF. So did you get the picture that I sent you?
Yeah, I can't really see it. I hate my thighs.
So for people who are listening, it's a picture of two onesies, or like in a store. So they're
like
kind of like racked
onesies.
Baby onesies. And there's a group of onesies, purple ones that are, I guess, gendered for girls.
Yeah.
And there's a group of onesies that are gendered for boys.
Yeah.
And the boys ones say, I'm super, and it kind of has a cape, like a superhero outfit. And then the girls onesie just says, I hate my thighs on it.
That is horrific.
Isn't that wild? So this was
hell?
back in 2015 that this kind of like made the rounds on the internet, but I only just saw it.
I've never seen that before.
It was like very curious to me.
Wow.
So this isn't like obviously that's okay, an isolated incident, but so this obviously isn't the only incident where something like this has happened, or like clothing like this has happened. And as far as I saw, like when I was doing a little bit of digging, there's still like clothing with diet culture messages on it, and it seems like a lot of it is directed like towards girls or towards women, right? So okay, so why people might be saying like, why are you mad at this? Like, whatever, it's just for a baby. Like, the baby doesn't know. Like, the baby's not going to retain any memory of it. But to me, I think the damaging thing is like the conversations that it might inspire. I don't know if they're all going to be like woke conversations. Like, I think a lot of conversations that this might inspire could be like really damaging. And the sad thing to me is like, it obviously, like, diet culture, here's another example of it unfairly targeting women again. Right. And it just sucks that, like, someone sitting around, like, this company's, like, whatever, like, creative design team was like, oh, I have an idea for a onesie. Like, let's make one that says, I hate my thighs, and let's make it for girls.
What the actual hell? Like, and it's just, like, driving home the idea that, like, women should hate parts of themselves.
I know.
And that's what I see in that. It's like, as a baby, it's like you're being brought up to dislike your body.
Yeah.
That's what that says to me, which is terrible.
I know. I just
I think we should be doing the opposite.
Yeah, I don't think it's obviously like the intention. I think is like there's trying to be funny, but to me, we've talked about this last time. Like, I don't think fat phobia is funny. Like,
that's not funny. No,
it's not funny. It makes me think.
Honestly, if I saw a baby wearing that, like, no part of me would want to laugh.
Yeah, I know.
I would be like, that poor human.
It also just makes me think. Yeah, exactly. Like, how is this baby going to be raised? Like, what was the intention behind when this was bought? Like, and even if like someone thinks they're being funny, I think like if you find something like that funny, it like maybe the diet culture is actually a lot more deeply rooted than you think it is.
Yeah.
Even if you're like, I know it's a joke. I hate my thighs. Like, we should love our bodies, but like, I'm still gonna buy this and like put it on a child.
No, I feel like there's definitely still some like deep rooted diet culture beliefs.
Yeah,
for sure.
It also made me think of like just like other gendered nutrition or like diet culture related things. Like, I'd love to do a whole episode with you on like women versus men's granola bars and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, we should.
Because there's so much. I can't believe like. So this is actually from where I saw it. It's been circling the internet for forever, but where I saw it is a Reddit community called I think it's called Needlessly or Unnecessarily Gendered, and they just like post all these things of like unnecessarily gendered products like sunscreen for men, like. And like most often it's like the exact same product, but the label just has like men in really bold writing, and instead of it maybe being like pink or a neutral tone, it's black and like silver and stuff like that. And none of that, I never understand any of that. This is just another example. It makes me think
of like certain cereals too that like, you know, there'd be like cereal commercials of like women on the couch like eating the cereal, and like certain like just like I'm not gonna say any brands, but yeah, just very
unless we're affiliated with them. Please slide into the DMs.
Just like targeting women, and like
I know,
but like there's just certain commercials that I have in my mind of like women working out or coming home from work or sitting in front of the TV before bed, and it's like they're all like from the commercial attempting to live a healthy lifestyle.
And the men's are like they're like just got home from the army and like crushing it at the gym, like
right. Yeah. And the women, it's just like women's cereal. It's light. It's low calorie. It's this like blah. Yeah. So
very
that's what that
strange.
makes me think of as well.
I think it's very strange. Anyway, so that's my BS of the week. It's sort of a short one, but
that was a good one. No, it was good. That like I love when a BS of the week gets me a little bit riled up.
Yeah, this definitely got me riled up. I hope it gets
other people riled up too. Yeah,
I just like can't imagine like I can picture people deliberately picking out at the store, but I can't imagine myself. I would just like walk by that and be so upset.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I agree.
I'm sure there's also ways that this kind of thing is perpetuated, maybe in like ways that I can't see. Like I don't have a baby, and I don't know law. I know some people with babies, obviously, but not lots of people with babies. And I wonder what the nutrition like side of things for babies is like. If there's like weirdly gendered or like weird nutritional claims around babies' things, because they have to be pretty tightly regulated by like whatever the FDA or by Health Canada, for example.
Canada. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Again, same as you. I don't have a baby, and I don't know a ton of people that have babies, so I'm not really sure.
Chime in, leave a comment or something, or send us a DM. Babies, if you've like run into like weird BS nutrition or like weirdly gendered baby or infant
baby
things.
Food.
Yeah.
I'm curious now.
Yeah. Anyway,
right.
all of it has to kind of like deal with the cosmetic and aesthetic pressures that diet culture impinges on us as a society, which is, I hope, is a great little leeway into our topic today.
And you know what, maybe it's a good thing that your BS of the week was a little shorter this week, because I feel like we have a big topic to
I think so too.
Dive into. I feel like we've got a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
So today, as you can hopefully tell by the episode title, I don't know what it is yet, but we're going to be talking about collagen, and more particularly collagen supplementation, because that's something that's become really big in the health and wellness industry in the last like 5 years, maybe 5-6 years. Like taking collagen supplements has it's huge. Like it seems like everyone's talking about it in the health and wellness world anyways. Like everyone's taking collagen.
I think it's kind of it's like genius because it's so cheap to produce, so it can be like really accessible as a supplement for people. And I mean genius from the perspective of like companies who are selling it.
Sure. People are adding it to their coffee, they're adding it to smoothies, they're baking it into baked goods. They're taking it, like I think there's also collagen capsules. They're taking it like just with their vitamins in the morning. It's huge. So we kind of wanted to dive into this topic today to let you guys know, what actually is collagen, where does it come from, how do the supplements work, how are they made, how do they work in the body, the role of collagen in the body, and then definitely dive into some research on whether or not it actually excuse me. I'm like, so I said I went for a run this morning. And I have asthma. And I feel like every time I go for a run, I get this little like just like frog in my throat.
Do you ever? I've had like those moments where I've gone for a run, and it's like the pathetic thing where just like whatever season it is, or like whatever time of the year, like it's just like my allergies are like, maybe I do have a little bit of asthma, like very, very mild. I used to carry a puffer with me. It would just come to the point midway through the run where I'm like, I know I'm going to be fine in 10 minutes, but I'm just like pathetically like drooped over and like the side of the road, like clutching myself. People are walking by like, should I be calling 911? I'm like, no, no, it's fine. I'm fine. I've had to have those moments in public.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, what was I going to say? I was talking about, we're going to dive into the research to see if any of the claims around collagen supplementation are legit.
Yeah.
If it actually does what people say it does. There are a lot of different claims around taking collagen supplements,
which
and
is so funny. That's like
are.
What it always is, right? Like when it's something like a supplement, they're like, this is going to change your life in the following 25 ways. Like every single...
It's like people like they just.
It was like apple cider vinegar, like weight loss, better skin, whatever, better digestion,
It's the same with collagen. It's like better skin, better hair, better nails, bone health, joint health, gut health. Like it's literally the list goes on with the claims, and so we'll talk about that today. There's research been done in some areas and on some benefits, and then for other ones, there really hasn't been any research done at all. Sure. So we'll talk about that. So I guess we'll start with what is collagen?
Love that.
Because some of you out there may not know. So collagen, it's a protein, and it's actually the most abundant protein in humans, and actually all mammals. So it's a structural protein, and it's the main component in connective tissue. So think like skin, joints, ligaments. It's also found in muscles and bones, tendons, more. So I guess that's kind of why supplementing with collagen is, oh my God.
I think you sound great.
Thank you. I just keep getting a little catch in my throat. So because it's found in so many different places in the body, I guess maybe that's why taking a supplement is thought to like benefit so many different areas.
Sure,
yeah, exactly. So it's that's
exactly
good explanation?
I mean, like I'm a vision neuroscience trainee, so I was also going to add like collagen is also like what makes up the white of your eye, as well as
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the ball that's inside the eye, the lens that reflects light so that it hits the right part of the back of the eye so that we can form proper images. And so obviously that ball has to be translucent, the lens has to be translucent because it's inside the eye to allow some light through, but the white of the eye is not translucent, it's opaque. So the reason is, even though they're made of like kind of the same thing, they're both made of collagenous protein, it's the way that collagen is, what's the word? The way the collagen is arranged. So if it's like kind of like in parallel together, instead of being like all crumbled up, it'll allow light to pass through. Anyway, just a little not neuroscience, but a little bit of eye biology for people.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's found all over the body, like you were saying, cartilage, bone, etc.
Yeah. So in the reading that I was doing, I found out, I didn't actually know this before I sat down to do my research for this episode, but there are actually various types of collagen in the body. There's actually like a family of collagen proteins, and it contains, I think the number is 28.
Wow, I didn't know that.
28 different types of collagen. That being said, there's three that like, I think 80 to 90% of the collagen in our body is made up of.
Okay.
So that's good to know. It's important to know that really. It's
totally.
And I also
we were talking a little bit with vitamin D, how you can take different kinds of vitamin D, how some of them are more bioavailable and things like that. So it's good to know that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I also found out that collagen, the structure of it is a triple helix, which you must know what that is. So I guess for people listening, if you think of like 3 ropes twisted together. Is that a good explanation?
That's a great way to, better than I would have come up with. Yeah.
Okay. And each rope or like strand of collagen is made up of amino acids, which are what us dietitians like to call it the building blocks of protein bound together. Yeah.
It's like if all protein is Lego, then every bit, if you want to make a protein, it has to be made up of many pieces, which are the amino acids.
Which are the amino acids. Yeah. So that triple helix structure is like what provides collagen with strength and stability. So that's, if you think of like connective tissue or cartilage, which are made up of mostly collagen, those things, you know, need strength and stability.
Right.
So that's that structure, that triple helix structure that provides that. So that's a little bit about the structure. Another thing that I learned is that collagen strands are made up of 19 different amino acids. So those Legos are building blocks of the protein, but actually over half of the total amino acid content of collagen is made up of 3.
Okay.
So they're made up of 19, but the majority is actually glycine, proline. I think proline. Do you know like
proline.
That sport?
Oh, proline. Yeah.
When I first read proline, I want to say proline. And hydroxyproline.
Okay.
So there's those 3 that
make up most of the protein.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that's a little bit about the structure. Did you read anything?
Oh, I didn't get that specific actually, but I loved hearing that. That was really interesting.
Cool. What else do I have here? So in terms of collagen synthesis or how it's made, our bodies can make collagen on their own. So surprise, surprise, like our bodies have been making collagen long before collagen supplements came along.
Yeah.
And really, to make collagen or any other protein in the body, our body simply combines amino acids together to build them. So it takes those building blocks and strands them together to make various proteins that the body will use for various things.
Yeah.
So, let me see. There are 9 essential amino acids. That means our bodies can't make them. We have to get them from food. So the rest of the amino acids that our body would use, our bodies can actually synthesize on their own. So I just want to give a little backstory around amino acids, just so
I'm obsessed with this. This is like maybe I haven't been in like a classroom in long enough, but I'm like wrapped. I'm like taking notes. I love this.
Oh my god. I just want to make sure. I want to give everyone a little background about amino acids so that they can kind of understand, I guess how collagen would be used or built in the body. Yeah. So like I said, there's 9 essential amino acids. The rest of the amino acids our body would be able to make on their own. So to build collagen, our body essentially strings together protein that our bodies have created on their own or we've eaten through food. So again, long before collagen supplements came around, our bodies have been able to essentially break down what we're eating or build or create amino acids in the body on their own to build collagen for connective tissue and cartilage and things like that. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, so essentially you could get some of the amino acids. Like I said, collagen is made up of amino acids, so you could get amino acids from taking collagen supplements, but you could also get them from other protein sources.
Diverse protein diet. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So animal proteins, plant proteins, whatever, like you would still be getting various amino acids to build proteins, including collagen, in the body. And then I think
that's amazing. That was a great.
I was going to say
summary.
something else, but I think that that's really all I need to say.
That's really good. Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of collagen supplements, where do they come from? Like, how do people make collagen supplements? They come from animals. They come from usually like connective tissue or cartilage from animals. So I think the most popular collagen supplements come from cows, so bovine collagen, marine collagen, so from fish, or from chicken. And so it would essentially be the connective tissue of these animals broken down into collagen peptides or collagen, what's the other one? Collagen
hydrolyzed collagen? I don't know.
Yeah,
oh, like if it's in a pill
thing.
Form or something.
Well, it's the same
like a
thing.
liquid capsule. Yeah.
I think it's called collagen hydrolysate. Is that the right word?
The protein itself or something. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, what it is it's the collagen already broken down somewhat.
Okay.
Like collagen peptides or collagen hydrolysate. It's the same thing, but they just have two different names.
Okay.
Like some collagen supplements are called collagen peptides, and some are called collagen hydrolysate.
It's just all collagen protein. Yeah.
It's the same thing. Yeah. It's collagen protein that's been broken down a little bit. Yeah.
Sounds
Does that
good.
make sense?
Yeah.
I like hope I'm making sense to everyone. I keep double checking.
Oh no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure whatever different companies have different maybe proprietary methods, like maybe some of them break down some of the collagen into some amino acid components, some of them don't, or something like that. Maybe some companies sell more of one type of collagen than another if they find a way to extract it or something. That it's not beyond imagination for me. Yeah.
I do think most of them come in that peptide form.
Right.
So if you think peptides are essentially, they're shorter chains of amino acids. They're not like the big long strands that would make up
polypeptides. When more than one.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So they're like smaller chains of amino acids. And essentially our bodies would be doing the same thing if we were to eat collagen in its whole form. It would be breaking it down before absorbing it. So I feel like the collagen supplements are just...
And when you say whole form, I think you're probably, just like for people listening or watching, you're saying from a whole food, for example, or from eating a bean, or from eating meat.
You'd be breaking, eating meat. You'd break it down before you absorbed. You don't absorb collagen in your gut, or in your intestine. You would absorb the amino acids. It would break it down.
You digest things. They break down into their component parts like anything else would. It's not for example, this is a good point to make, and something that I wanted to talk about as well is we were talking about, so back in the vitamin D episode, which I think is interesting to reference in relation to this episode, because it was also talking about a supplement, and specifically vitamin D is not a protein, it's a maybe I'll cut part of this out so that it's not so awkward, but I can still leave in that I'm stupid. I'm very happy to do that.
Oh my god, stop. We know you're not stupid here.
So vitamin D isn't a protein. It's not made up of amino acids. It's a molecule. It's like a complex chain of chemicals, right? So when we digest it or when we consume it, it's not digested in the same way a protein would, like you're saying.
No.
A protein is going to get broken down into its Lego blocks, into its amino acids.
Right.
But vitamin D is a molecule that, because of the nature of it, it's like we were talking about earlier in that earlier episode, is fat soluble. So when there's fat around, I think basically the fat can kind of grab onto it and then pass it through our digestive system into the bloodstream. But that's not how we digest proteins. They don't just get, whatever grabbed by the
latch onto something
and go into our bloodstream. They get broken down to their component parts. Yeah.
And that's the same with collagen. If you were to eat collagen through supplements, or take collagen peptides mixed into your coffee, or take it or eat a steak, your body's going to take the proteins from that. So whether they're in peptide form or whether they come, whatever form they're in from, the steak, your body still has to break them down into the building blocks or amino acids before they can be absorbed.
Yeah.
So that's important to note, because I think a lot of times with supplements and collagen supplements, you think that you're taking collagen, so it's going to remain as collagen
throughout
in your
whole
body.
System.
Yeah, but it's not. Your body still has to break it down in order to absorb it.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads me into a little conversation around how it's digested and how collagen supplements would be used in the body. And so, like I said, I think that the assumption is like when you take collagen, because the collagen in our body contributes to like the elasticity in our skin or our joints and things like that, that taking collagen supplements is automatically going to contribute to that as well.
Right.
But it's not that simple. It's really impossible to know how your body's going to use your collagen supplement.
I was actually trying to come up with an analogy for that, and what I came up with is like, okay, if I gave you a dozen eggs, you could go and make like poached eggs, hard-boiled, scrambled eggs, sunny side up, a quiche. You could make, I think, do you use eggs in souffle? I don't know. You could make a bunch of things, right?
Yeah.
When I give you eggs, if my favorite is poached eggs, but I don't tell you that, I can't know for certain that you're going to make from a dozen eggs 12 poached eggs. You could go make a bunch of different kinds of eggs with that. And that's basically what our bodies do with protein. They take that protein, they break it gets digested, broken down into amino acids. That goes through our bloodstream to reach every part of our body, into all the cells, that then use that protein to make use those amino acids to create whatever protein they require for whatever process.
For whatever your body needs.
Part of that might be, you might make a poached egg. Maybe you'll make a poached egg out of one of those dozen eggs. Your body might make some collagen out of that protein, but it doesn't mean that it will.
You can't guarantee it. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with that analogy.
Oh, thank you.
I love that.
It took me a long time to come up with that. Yeah.
I love it. And that's so true. Your body, there's so many different proteins in the body and so many different roles for protein in the body that there's no way of knowing that just taking a collagen supplement, like, it's automatically going to be used for your skin or your joints or whatever. So that's so great. I love the way that you summed that up. Let me see. Yeah, so essentially, I mean, you covered it. Once proteins are broken down into peptides and then amino acids and then absorbed into our bloodstream, our body is just going to treat them as it would any amino acid from any protein.
There's no part of the collagen amino acid that's like, there's no tag on it that says like, take me and make collagen with me. Make extra collagen with me because I'm extra supplement. You can't imbue that kind of like whatever like trait onto those proteins, those supplements. Yeah,
like your body can't differentiate between the collagen from that you mixed into your coffee this morning, or the collagen or the protein that came from like the hamburger you ate.
Yeah, like, and even if you add more of it, it doesn't necessarily mean
it still doesn't know. Yeah. One thing that, I mean, you could, it's not an argument, but like that has crossed my mind, is that like when you take a collagen supplement, you are taking a larger amount of the specific amino acids that are found in collagen. So like I said, the glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, you are taking a larger amount of that. But so I think that the assumption is that like having a greater amount of these specific amino acids means that more of them could be used for collagen production in the body.
There's the potential for that.
Right. But again, you have no way to guarantee that, and no way to know.
Yeah, so totally.
I think that's important for people to just be aware of when seeing people recommend collagen supplements or claiming that collagen supplements have done this, and this. Like, just knowing that, boom, taking collagen doesn't mean it's going to automatically translate into collagen in your body.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And I guess even further than that, the only way to really know if it's going to work, or if it does work, or if it's been seen, is research, right?
Right. Totally.
So that's what we're going to kind of dive into now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, so you and I decided that I was going to kind of talk about my side of the research first, or what I found, but I feel like I've been talking so much.
Do you want me to go?
Maybe I should let you go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first. I don't think it really matters who goes first here. Okay, so
let's be real, I just need a break from talking.
Okay. So, I could hear you talk all day. So there are several, I won't say like lots, but there are several studies that do test different amounts of collagen and different kinds of collagen as supplements on human subjects. That is true. And the thing that I focused on specifically was the cosmetic side, because I think that's the most popular aspect of taking collagen as a supplement. So the studies that I was interested in finding and reading were those measuring skin elasticity, like you were talking about earlier, hydration, basically like anti-aging effects or anti-aging properties. So something that I was reminded of pretty quickly soon after I started reading through some of these studies was reading from Dr. Tim Caulfield's book, Is Gwyneth Paltrow Wrong About Everything? He has a chapter on like cosmetic pharmaceuticals or like cosmetology products made for like anti-aging, antimicrobial, pore closing, etc. Functions. And this whole chapter, he not only like refreshes his routine, like starts taking a bunch of different products, but also goes to get his skin I guess like objectively tested. Pretty much what like what I learned through reading that and what he learns and what he passes on is that it's really, really difficult to objectively measure those things, for one. And a lot of and like basically every product he tried made pretty much no difference in his skin at all. Like there's so much of a genetic and an environmental, I believe, component in what our skin looks like and how it behaves. Like how flaky it is, oily it is, blah, blah, blah. That just like off-the-shelf products aren't really going to make a difference. And he, Dr. Caulfield spoke to, I think it was a dermatologist, and they were saying like, basically like any effect to your skin is only going to come if there's some sort of like medical need for it, and you use like a really strong like pharmaceutical drug, you know what I mean? Like those are the only things that are like going to actually change some aspect of your skin in like a really noticeable way. There is like something to be said for like generally moisturizing, but using like Dr. Caulfield makes the point that like using $100 moisturizer isn't gonna equal 10 times of a better effect than like a $10 moisturizer. You know what I mean?
That's very good to know.
So this kind of like anti-aging using a supplement like collagen kind of reminded me of that. So I was kind of thinking about that while I was reading what I was reading. So pretty much all the studies that I was looking at report back these like really like cool effects, like yes, using a collagen supplementation has anti-aging effects. It reduces wrinkles, more skin elasticity, more hydration, etc. But the weird thing for me was, and I do have my own bias here, of course, but the weird thing for me was that I couldn't find, or there was very little, if any at all, like basic science experiments looking at the same thing. So it was all like human testing. So, and all of the studies were ones, at least from what I saw, were ones that were conducted by groups that weren't necessarily associated with an independent academic institution. They were all conducted by groups that seemed to have some sort of like financial or otherwise connection to a cosmetic company or a cosmetic testing facility. So I think there's like a weird bias in the literature. So there is this like group of studies out there talking about like good effects of collagen, anti-aging effects of collagen, but none of them seem to be like basic science, like rigorous research. They all seem to be like cosmetic labs, you know what I mean?
Okay, so what do you mean by what do you mean by rigorous research?
Well, so maybe their cosmetic testing was really rigorous, but sorry, maybe I should have.
I'm just curious.
I meant more like independent, like basic science research, where they're asking the question without any sort of like conflict of interest.
Sure.
I shouldn't have used the word rigorous. But so something seemed a little sketch for me there.
I didn't mean to call you out.
Oh, no. So something seemed a little sketch to me about that it was all these like groups that maybe had something to gain financially. And I'm sure I'm going to get like canceled online one day because I actually recently tweeted about a clickbait Toronto Star article about nutritional supplements.
Okay, you went
COVID.
like viral.
No, I didn't. And I don't want people to think that I'm like some bitter Betty or something. I actually like really love journalists. There's so many like good journalists out there, and I hope people notice that, especially on the podcast, we celebrate lots of really good journalists.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have like 200 followers, so it's a drop in the bucket if I get canceled. No one's really going to notice. But anyway, there's this really, really amazing article by someone named Meghan Collie on the Global News website that we'll include. And the article is titled "Reality Check: Is it safe to drink collagen powder?" And we'll link Meghan's Twitter as well. So she mentions the same thing. The claims are it helps with skin, joint pain, etc. She talked to a registered dietitian from Ontario called Jacqueline Villeneuve, and I don't think she has an online presence, unfortunately, because it would have been interesting to like go and read more of her stuff. Yeah. So she gave Villeneuve gave a really good background about collagen in the interview, the same as you did, really good background. And mentioned also that like just because we consume more collagen doesn't mean that the amino acids are going to necessarily go and make more collagen. Right. So what there is out there is like there are some studies, and you mentioned this briefly earlier, where maybe there is some sort of like benefit from collagen supplements with relation to joints, joint pain and stuff like that after consumption of a collagen supplement. But it's difficult, even still, it's difficult to make that connection because we know collagen is still being broken down into its component parts. Like if you had replaced that collagen supplement with a like diverse protein diet, would you still get the same effect?
Right.
So, and actually they mentioned in the article, interestingly to me, was that there was another dietitian that spoke about how a lot of the studies with respect to collagen seem to be funded by collagen companies. So there was this like big conflict of interest. So
who was that? Do you know?
They didn't. I don't think they named them by name. Okay. Oh, maybe they did. Okay. Sorry, but I just didn't note it. But
that's okay. No, I was just
we can
curious.
find it. So, I mean, what it came down to for me, it came down to like, if you're a healthy person that's like, whatever, generally healthy, has a diverse diet, I don't think collagen supplementation is going to dramatically change the way that your body produces collagen. And I don't think it's going to like dramatically cause whatever anti-aging benefits. If it's possible that like having collagen supplementation in the presence of we were talking about this before at previous episodes, in the presence of a deficit of available proteins, that maybe that will help in the production of collagen. So consuming collagen itself as a supplement isn't necessarily going to do the trick as far as what I saw was concerned. Actually, so and I thought it was really interesting too in the article, the journalist Meghan Collie mentions that she looked up hashtag collagen powder on Instagram, and there was like just under 100,000 posts. So I looked it up the other day, and it hasn't. This article was published in July, so it's been like almost a year.
July 2019,
and now it's about like 150,000 posts. So like it's still like something happening, and it's very like the posts are all like very like aesthetic, like
they're influencers.
Yeah, very like influency, like beautiful posts, like really clickable, shareable, beautiful pictures. So it, like you're saying, it's definitely like alive and well. Like it's very trendy, regardless of like trendy. This rift in like claim versus effect. It is still like a very trendy thing.
Yeah. I'm curious. Do you have like name? Did you? I'm just wondering if some of the studies that you saw like were the same ones that I saw.
I actually don't have the names of them up, but I could probably find them easily.
Yeah, I'm curious because I don't know. I think you're.
So like basically for me, it was when the thing I always do when we're doing this, like when we do the podcast, is I always look to see like if the authors are dietitians or if they're whatever PhDs or MDs.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
as far as I saw, a lot of most of the studies that I like looked at did not have like RDs or MD, maybe like
Okay.
an MD in the paper or something, but they all
Okay.
again were not linked to some sort of like independent academic institution. They were all like some sort of
Right.
not marketing agency, but like cosmetic
Right.
affiliation or something like that.
Interesting.
So-
that's something that I don't necessarily look for. So that
Was
maybe
like a
it's
big
something that I
red flag
should-
for me when
yeah.
I first looked at some of those studies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Did you bring them up? Or
Sorry,
should
no, maybe
Okay.
you should go ahead.
I can kind of get into what I found,
Yeah,
and
that'd be
I
great.
wanted to say I told Tarek this before we started recording, but I when I first started doing my research, I found like a couple I thought really well compiled blog posts from some other dietitians that I that I respect and that I follow their work, whether on social media or have read their blogs before, and feel like I trust them and
Totally.
and their interpretation of the evidence and their recommendations. So I'm saying a lot.
I love it.
But oh fuck, I said it again. So I read their blog post first, and I really all the research that I kind of peeked at was from like that they had cited on their blog post, and
Sure.
and we'll link their blog posts as well, because I thought they were really informative and written really well, and they really do a good job at translating the information for the everyday
A broader
person
audience.
to
Yeah, love that.
understand. Yeah. So let me just bring them up here. So the first blog post that I looked at was from Andy DeSantis, and he is a dietitian based out of Toronto.
Cool.
I believe he works in private practice, and we'll link his blog post. But he didn't do a huge dive on like what is collagen or anything like that, but he really wanted to kind of look into the research and see if collagen is actually effective for certain claims that are made about it. So one that he looked at was skin health, or again, like you said, kind of the anti-aging side of things, skin elasticity, wrinkles. I think that was kind of mostly what he looked into, and he found a few studies that were he did find some randomized control trials. One was published. Is that what you found as well?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. In the Journal of Medical Nutrition and Nutraceuticals.
Also,
in
whenever I
2015.
see the journal name, I like look it up to see.
How like reputable it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was something else that I looked at as well. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so that one looked at oral supplementation of collagen and how it impacted skin properties in post-menopausal women.
Cool.
And I think most of the research that he noted and that other dietitians have cited as well is, in terms of skin health, has mostly been done in post-menopausal women.
Okay.
So that's something to keep in mind as well, because even if there are benefits, that may not translate to like a younger generation.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Or
Totally, yeah.
Young adults or premenopausal women.
Yeah.
So he said that, they found that, so this study was effective in improving certain indicators of skin vitality. So they looked at wrinkle depth and elasticity of the skin, and then like you were talking about, skin hydration as
Right.
well. And then he says that another similar study, so another randomized control trial, found similar outcomes as well. I really think like these studies are finding some positive outcomes, but they're they're small studies, and there's really not a lot of them. So I think that's kind of do you think that's kind of where the issue lies?
I also think it's like, I also think this is a very difficult thing these are very difficult outcomes to measure objectively.
Right.
Like wrinkle depth and stuff like that is not, like, I think you'd have to be really hard pressed to prove that you're measuring it in like a really objective way that's repeatable. It's just like a very complex variable. Like, are you always measuring the same wrinkle? Like, are you making sure you're going back to the exact same spot and the angle of the images, like things like that? Like, these kinds of biological variables are really hard to pin down. Also, like, the time of day that people are being measured, the kind of products that they also were using vary from different person to person. Sun exposure, like, I think it's a really complicated area.
Yeah.
And to come out with like such a brazen, like, yes, this works, I think is like a little bit, it's surprising to see that to me.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. I was surprised as well to see those conclusions.
And that's most of those oral supplement collagen studies are like very positive. I actually found, sorry, do you mind just like for a second? I actually found one of the studies that I was looking at.
Yeah, for sure.
So this has like a couple red flags right away when I was looking at the paper. Do you want me to send you the link?
So what's it called? Yeah.
So you should be able to see just like the abstract, which is all that you need for what I'm kind of gonna like go through, and maybe I'll include. I don't want to like drag these people online or whatever, but maybe we'll include a picture of what we're looking at, just so like if people do have access to looking at even abstracts, like they can get a sense of maybe the things that they can look out for in judging whether or not something's going to be reputable. So this paper is called Daily Consumption of the Collagen Supplement Pure Gold Collagen, registered trademark, reduces visible signs of aging. So, I mean, automatically we can kind of be upset about the like reduces visible signs of aging thing, because like that seems like a really big stretch to make for a claim. So that's like an initial thing. The journal that it was published in is the Clinical Intervention of Aging Journal, which is, I don't know, not a very popular journal. That's another thing to consider. Also, the two authors don't seem to have a academic affiliation. Their affiliation is actually with something called Minerva Research Labs. So if you Google...
I have that same...
article.
I think that was one of the articles.
Yeah, so if you look up Minerva Research Labs, they're actually a company that does, they try to deliver age-defying solutions of supplements and topicals through scientific research and innovation. So it's like a independent company that's like doing cosmetology studies, I guess. So this isn't some like microbiology, or not microbiology lab, or whatever, like dermatology in like department at a university hospital that's like maybe going to be independently looking at these things. They were also like provided this product, which when you're provided a product rather than like formulating it on your own or going out to buy it, it's also kind of a red flag. So all of these things, especially when I looked at this paper, and a lot of the papers were the same way, were kind of red flags to me. I mean, aside from the usual, like what we usually talk about, like it's very few number of people, whatever, it's not it's not an excessively longitudinal study, blah blah blah. And actually this study itself was funded by the Minerva Research Labs, which also work in tandem with the cosmetic companies that provide this collagen supplement, as well as many others. So I kind of was like, I don't know, like even if the results were really convincing to me, like, which they weren't, I was like,
because these are some things that I think people might not think of when
kind of reminds me of the what are those lollipops that make you full but not really? This
oh god, the flat tummy.
Yeah, flat tummy. It's like Satia
Yeah.
Reel. Remember, we looked like they had this like
Yes.
organic compound, natural
Yeah.
compound, Satia Reel. Remember the study for that was like funded by like a similar sort of institution. It was like this like
Yeah.
cosmetic affiliated lab or whatever, or supplement affiliated lab. It reminds me of that. It's that kind of biased research that's really
Sure.
intended to drive like marketing. You know what I mean?
Right. One thing that about this article that I'm looking at right here, it's called it's by the same people that you mentioned and that same Minerva research lab. It's called The Effects of a Nutritional Supplement Containing Collagen Peptides on Skin Elasticity, Hydration, and Wrinkles. Is that the supplement contained collagen, but it also contained a handful of other things as well.
Okay.
So again, you can't really pinpoint that collagen, like there was hyaluronic acid in it as well, and I'm not sure what the other things were, but other.
So they're just
kind
like
of-
introducing variables, basically.
Exactly. You really can't pinpoint that it was collagen that had these effects. It could have been the hyaluronic acid or whatever.
That's a great point.
So then there were some studies relating to joint health as well. Did you see anything about that?
I didn't read those exclusively, I have to say. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was looking more at the cosmetic side of things.
Okay, so this, I just lost it again. This blog post says that, there has also been some research done looking at collagen supplementation and its effect on knee pain and overall joint health. So stiffness, movement, restriction, things like that.
Right.
And so there was one study that this blog post cites, a 2016 paper in the Osteoarthritis and Cartilage Journal. And it looked at both young adult athletes and middle-aged men and women. And, says that they found improvements in both populations. I tried to bring up the study here, but it's really hard to read. I'm going to send you the link this time and see.
Okay, sure.
I kind of like this, like kind of looking at the articles together on the podcast.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So maybe
as
just
long as people like that, I'm into that.
Yeah. I want you to open it and maybe do a quick scan and see what you think.
See if there's any red flags.
Yeah. I like this.
Also, who am I? I hope people know, like, I don't think I'm some sort of wizard, like science wizard. Like, I'm just like doing what I've been taught, and I know that I can be wrong. And
right.
Yeah. Okay. So, efficacy of specific bioactive collagen peptides in treatment of joint pain, osteoarthritis, and cartilage. Journal. Who are these people? So they are associated with the Department of Rehabilitation, Prevention, and Sports Medicine Center for Internal Medicine at the University of Freiburg in Germany. So that seems like, to me, that's like, at least it's not a like
it's not a lab,
a financial association.
Yeah.
It is like a research laboratory associated with a university.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Like the other one.
Yeah, the first author is someone. So that was the last author. If people don't know, usually in a scientific article, the last author is kind of like I guess like the papa bear or the mama bear of the research group. Like they're the principal investigator. They're kind of like the supervisor. And the first author is usually someone who is like a trainee or a student who did most of the work and most of the writing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so the first author is someone who has an affiliation with the Collagen Research Institute of Kiel, Germany. So I don't know if like that's kind of interesting. Like they're not associated with a university, the Collagen Research Institute of Kiel, Germany. So I'm just quickly
they
looking that up.
Specifically research collagen.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know anything about these people. It looks like maybe they just do a bunch of clinical studies. Anyway, interesting. So It seems like there's a bit of a collaboration there.
Okay.
And let's look and see if they have any financial disclosures at the end of the article.
Yeah.
So I'm just opening up it's very short.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like is this an article or just an abstract? Oh, it's just an abstract.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have any of that information there.
Okay.
Like if they had a financial disclosure,
Okay.
I don't think. Or it's less likely that they would.
Okay. I think you can.
But the results are very positive, aren't they?
Yes, the results are positive. The results are basically, an improvement in...
Yeah, and they had about 160 athletes for a period of 12 weeks. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then there was a second study with 182 people. So like pretty like average numbers for a good clinical study. I'm just trying to see if I can look up the full paper, see if they had any financial disclosures. But yeah, I guess like this paper, at least for me, is like a little bit, is like way less sketchy than the Minerva Labs one.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again,
at least from superficially looking at the abstract.
Yeah. I think one other thing that I wanted to touch on, I know we're kind of, it's hard to know actually where we're at in terms of time because we keep having technical difficulties.
We're nearing an hour now.
Okay. So one other thing I wanted to talk about. So in terms of skin health, there may not be benefits, essentially, is what you and I are concluding. Like these studies that we've looked at, it's really, the studies saw improvements in skin health, but based on, the funding of the studies, where the studies have been done, who did the studies. Me,
those studies are just not convincing.
Sure.
And I think I would, at least for me, from what I've read, I'm not convinced that an oral collagen supplement is going to result in better looking skin.
Yeah. And also, like, from what we know about taking a collagen, like what we know about
like how the biology of it all.
How it's digested and used in the body, it's you can't promise anything. So that's skin health. Joint health, again, there is some budding evidence like we've looked at, but again, hard to say.
To me, it's
there's
just
not
like
a ton of evidence.
If I was to give anybody advice as like whatever, just a random person, is like have a like nutritional diverse diet that's like healty for you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then you'll be at the best baseline for the best possible skin that you can get. Yeah,
I agree. And then one thing I wanted to also mention, because I know there's a lot of claims around gut health and collagen. People say,
that's so interesting.
Oh, take this collagen supplement, and they list off gut health as one of the benefits of taking it. From what I've seen, there's like no research been done on that.
I didn't run into anything with gut health, no.
So those claims are, I don't know if someone grabbed them from thin air, or they just, again, because of collagen's very diverse role in the body, people just assumed that it could help your gut too.
Yeah.
But just so you guys know, like, there's been no research done on that whatsoever. So not even like crappy positive evidence. Like there's just none whatsoever. So I just wanted to highlight that. So I guess, I mean, personally, as a registered dietitian, I wouldn't be, based on the evidence that's out there, I wouldn't be recommending everyone and anyone take a collagen supplement to improve their health or improve their skin, or I think they're just based on, there is research is still being done, and I think it's definitely an area where we need a lot more robust research and evidence robust before we can make any sort of recommendations. I think we probably say that about everything, but I think that's important to note, because to be able to make claims like nutrition recommendations and claims, you really do need a lot of research and a lot of solid evidence, and it's just not quite there yet for a lot of things that we talk about. A lot of things that are trendy, there hasn't been enough research done yet to be able to say whether or not something actually works.
I hope people see this as like, this is good news. Like, you don't have to spend money on this. Like, this is
Yeah.
another thing that's like, just
Collagen-
don't spend money on it.
Collagen supplements are expensive, to buy a tub of supplements, and you can get, I mean, some people claim, and I understand it, like, they claim it's a flavorless, like, protein source that, like, it dissolves into your coffee or it dissolves into your smoothie or whatever, and you honestly don't even know that it's there. So if you're looking for that protein boost, like people claim, that's, then sure, take some collagen. And I understand that, but you could also just get protein from various other things. You could just eat.
Yeah.
I'm not judging you if you take collagen. I've used it before. A company sent it to me and I mixed it into my coffee and I couldn't taste it. Did I really see
I tried it. I didn't taste anything.
Yeah, and it was fine. And I guess I liked...
I think it was like a weird texture though. Like there was no
really?
flavor, but...
I didn't notice.
Maybe not. It might have all been in my head.
Yeah. Though. I think, really the only thing that I can really say about it right now is that, if you want to add some extra protein to your coffee.
If you really want some proline, then go for it.
Yeah, exactly. But you could also just eat a diverse diet, rich in various protein sources. Yeah, and you'll be okay. I don't think collagen is going to make that big of a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I just keep saying
I agree.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, guys. I know this was a bit of a roller coaster of an episode, up and down, and we were reviewing a paper together, and then
I still need to get used to the whole distance technology thing.
I think that's something we're struggling with a little bit. Yeah, is we're trying to nail down a system for recording virtually,
like quality, but also like recording with like good quality. Because I think a lot of people, not to drag other podcasts, but a lot of people are just like sending, lower quality audio and video because it's easier to record that way. Right. But I'm a bit of a advocate for trying to do the best you can with what you got. So we're trying our best here.
Yeah, we're trying our best. Okay, maybe let's quickly jump into what's been tasty this week.
Yeah, well, I will say I got a bunch. This is something that you and I have done as a tasty for something that didn't make the podcast before because of other technical difficulties. Yes. But I got some Easter treats from a friend named Jess who listens to the podcast. Jess, I love you. Jess sent me some macaron from a local chocolatier called Rousseau in this box, which I promptly consumed. So this is my tasty, the Rousseau chocolate. Oh my God, sponsor us, Rousseau chocolate.
Yes, please.
And also now, as you know, I'm adding it to my little collection of macaron boxes.
I love that.
Because, I have this other really pretty one. Anyway.
Yeah, so for the people listening, where's that other little pretty one from?
Oh my gosh, I forgot that we're not just, we're not on TV.
We're not just on FaceTime with each other?
Yeah, so the Rousseau chocolate box is a really like little pretty box here. It's just it's cardboard. It has a really pretty stamp on it for people who are listening, and it has a little window to see your little plastic window, kind of like a pasta box would have a little plastic window to see your pasta on the inside. From my friend Jess, which I loved, which I got along with some various eggs and goodies like that for Easter. And I have this other box, macaron box from Paris, from La Durée, which is like the premier macaron house, I guess.
Amazing.
Or like not patisserie, but pastry, whatever, dessert house in France, which is really like, it's teal. It's like Tiffany blue beautiful. Almost, a little bit of teal, and has this like silver embroidery all over it.
It's gorgeous.
Which is really pretty.
Yeah.
And it sits on my TV stand.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. What's been tasty for you?
Okay, so since it's Easter, I have to say, this is so basic, but Cadbury mini eggs.
I live and die for a Cadbury mini.
Me too. Like, I'm obsessed with them. I love them so much. I've always loved them. But one thing I want to talk a little bit about, and I won't go into detail because we're kind of at our time limit, but
everyone's pouring out their collagen supplement into the guys since they're listening.
My relationship with mini eggs has been very up and down over the years because, as you know, as we've discussed in the first season, we kind of shared both of our own stories and our relationships with food and our history with disordered eating. And I used to like have such a love-hate relationship with mini eggs, but now it's all love. But like I would feel like I loved mini eggs. I loved the taste of them. Like they were something that I enjoyed eating, but I could not, because I had such a disordered relationship with food, I couldn't control myself around mini eggs, and therefore like I felt like I had to not have them around. Like I couldn't buy them around Easter time just to have and enjoy. And if they were bought, it would be something that like I would only eat on a day where I've decided like this is a cheat day, and like all inhibitions are out the window, and it would turn into like binge eating mini eggs, which is like not fun at all. Like you feel like you can't stop eating because you've deprived yourself for so long. And I won't go on and on, but anyways.
No, I was just thinking this is really important because we haven't really talked about, you know, kind of like difficult eating behaviors recently. And I think it's good to like, it's probably maybe like a sensitive time. Like we were talking about the quarantine 15 a little bit. So I'm sure it's on people's minds. Yeah.
So anyways, I just feel like over the years, as I've repaired my relationship with food, I now am able to keep mini eggs in the house, keep them in the pantry, eat some like when I want some. If I'm watching a movie, like, and I want a little chocolate treat, having some mini eggs and feeling like I can eat them until I'm satisfied and then stop and, you know, not feel that like desire to keep eating because I feel like tomorrow, like diet starts tomorrow, and, you know, not
there's
being...
also like,
Go ahead.
I'm sure like this goes without saying, you know, if there's a time when someone like wants to enjoy a bag of mini eggs, like I'm sure there's like a time and place for that, but in this scenario, like you're specifically talking about, if I'm not wrong, like you don't necessarily want to keep eating them, but it's that sort of like addictive thing that like ends up being like emotionally fraught as well.
Absolutely. And, like, like you're so full, and this is like kind of what I mean, I think we both have had experience with binge eating, but like you're so full, like you've essentially made yourself sick with food, but you can't stop eating because for whatever reason. A lot of times it's based out of restriction or restrictive thoughts, or maybe there's around some sort
of underlying.
Exactly. So I'm happy to say I have a good relationship with mini eggs now and other foods, and anyways, I just thought that was something that was important to highlight.
I love that. That is really important. Thank you.
Me and my relationship with mini eggs.
I would love for also the creme egg people to sponsor us and send me 1 million boxes of those.
See, I like them, but mini eggs are where it's at for me. I can have like one cream egg and that's good.
Tell us if you're a mini egg or a creme egg.
Yes, person. Please let us know. Actually, maybe on Instagram we'll do a little poll. Maybe once we stop recording, I'll go on and I'll poll everyone.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, there's room in my heart for both. I'm a creme egg person.
Okay. No, I'm a mini egg. Okay, I can't wait to see what you guys are. All right. Well, we'll wrap this up. Make sure that you please leave us a rating and review if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Yeah, hit the subscribe button. And we love to hear from you guys, so please interact with us however you please. We love it.
Totally. And keep your eyes peeled for those claims. There's lots of messy claims going around these days.
Yeah. All right.
Send us some if you see them.
Yeah, totally. All right. See you guys. Talk to you guys next week.
Bye, Roxanne.
Bye, Roxanne.